Hello and welcome. I'm Carol DeChaine, your intuitive spiritual guide for practical matters. And this month we're looking about how to be your own best friend. Last time I talked about treating yourself right, loving yourself in word and thought and deed. And today I'm talking about accepting compliments. So many times people say, "Oh, wow, what a great blouse." And you go, "Oh, thanks." Because great. Or you might say, "Oh, this whole thing." Or you might say, someone says, "Oh, you did a great job on this," and you might not even say thank you. You might not accept the fact that you did a good job. Maybe you don't believe you did a good job because you say, "Well, I could have done so much better," or "Yeah, it was okay. I should have spent more time on it," or whatever it might be. Maybe you're in school and you got an A, and you think, "I got an A. How did I get an A on this? I didn't even study." Or I didn't do a very good job. I spent almost no time. And you don't accept the compliment that people are trying to give you, whether it's an A on a test or an A on a paper that you did, or it's your boss telling you you did a good job, if you're lucky enough to have a boss who does that, or a spouse who says, "Wow, thank you for doing this. You did a good job," or whatever it might be. "You look fabulous today." It's, "Wow, is that a new dress? You look wonderful." And maybe you've worn it 3 times and they just never noticed it before, but this time there's some glow about you and you look especially good. Or guys, maybe, somebody says, "Oh, you got it. What happened to you? You look really great." And maybe you just shaved your mustache and you've had it for 20 years. And they think, "Wow, you look really handsome today." And you're going, "I just shaved my mustache. Did I look so bad before?" But you don't accept the compliment. You don't say thank you. It's not that, and even if you say thank you, sometimes we don't accept it inside of ourselves. The impact on us is like bouncing off of us because we don't allow it to seep into our being to say, "Wow, thank you." That's because I have to tell you, giving a compliment can be huge for some people. Some people just give them out like candy. They're, no problem. And they give them to everybody. Other people, like with me, I have to think about it before I actually do a compliment, especially in the past. If somebody looks great, I'll just think it. I go, "Oh, wow, they look good today." But I don't say anything out loud. I don't say, "Wow, that dress looks really great on you." Or "You look great in that dress," or whatever. I, I don't do that unless, and especially in the past, unless I would really say, "No, they need to hear this. I need to tell them this." And now I try and do it more often because people need to hear it. And sometimes they won't accept it when I tell them, certain people, and I say, "Stop. Did you hear what I just said? Accept my compliment." And they'll go, "Oh, no, I didn't hear what you said. What did you say?" And I'll tell them, and they go, "Oh, well." And then they'll try and respond in a negative way. And I say, "Stop. Accept my compliment." And they'll go, "Oh." And those are the hard headed people, the ones that really, really, they have this wall up and they won't even hear it. Or they'll put up a, no, yeah, it's not. They'll get defensive for no reason because you're going, "Hey, I'm giving you a compliment." Realize that sometimes we do that ourselves. Somebody will give us a compliment and I'll just like steamroller over what they're saying. And then I'll stop for a second and go, "Oh, I heard that." And I'll go back and I'll thank them. "Thank you for that compliment. I actually heard you say that, but it took a second for it to sink in." And then I'll continue on. But people need to, the more that you say thank you for a compliment, the more people will want to give compliments to other people and to you. You can't just say, "No, I wasn't good enough," because you aren't your own best friend when you do that. If I'm complimenting my best friend on something, I want her to hear me. I want her to get that I'm saying, "Thank you, you were great. Thank you, this is wonderful." Or "You did a great job," or "You look wonderful today." It's, "You are a sweet, wonderful, loving person, and I appreciate you." Whatever that may be, you want that person to really get it. You want them to feel it. And they don't always do. So, if you are aware when you give someone else a compliment and they don't really hear you, or maybe you're kind that, like I used to be, where you don't really give compliments, start being aware of those around you and start giving compliments yourself, but only do it if it's real. Don't make up and manufacture a reason to give compliments because It will make you feel good about yourself when you give it to other people. You'll be not just about you, it'll be opening yourself up to others. And that's another way you can be your own best friend because you can attract those around you with your loving and giving compliments to people from time to time. They'll feel that connection and they'll start wanting to be around you more. And if you can accept when other people give you compliments, that's like being your own best friend. It's saying, I deserve to have these people say these things to me. I don't need to make excuses up. Champion of excuse making, that's me. You don't need to deflect the compliment and say, oh no, that, yeah, I could have done better. Or, oh, that wasn't my best effort. Or, oh, yeah, thanks. The dress looks great, but it's not, I look horrible. I'm fat. Or whatever it may be. Just accept them and go, yeah, hey, thanks. Now, there are some people that get really prideful, and it's not in a good way. When you say, well, you look good, yeah, I know. And it's cocky. It's something that you're going, huh, maybe I shouldn't give that person a compliment anymore because it's not so much that they deflect it, but sometimes people have a really low self esteem and yet they come off cocky because they can't just be real with you. They're not being real in a cocky way, is usually hiding something underneath. It's kind of their way of deflecting, but they do it by being, hey, yeah, I'm great. I'm wonderful. I know I am. And there's something underneath that's something that is not self confident. And I do know someone who acts that way, very bombastic, very much where you go, God, what a pain. I'm never going to give this person a compliment because of the way they come off. It's like, what? But underneath it, they have other major insecurities about other things. You may not want to give those people compliments, but sometimes if you go, oh, yeah, that's me, they may not be, or you may not be as self confident as how you come across. So if you accept compliments graciously, maybe I should put it that way. Accept compliments graciously. Realize that person is saying it, even if there are some people that give compliments to everybody, and you can feel when it is, but if you accept it graciously, even if they don't mean it, they're going to go, oh, well, that's interesting. And maybe they'll mean it more next time. Because you say, thank you, that's very nice of you. And they'll go, oh, I kind of meant it sarcastically. And perhaps that's the way they are, but you don't have to accept that judgment from them that it was sarcastic. You can accept it as a real compliment if you like. Accept however you want to. Feel into that. Is there a reason you're not accepting them? Or maybe you're not getting any compliments from anybody because you have such a huge wall that you don't even hear them. The person may be thinking it, but they're not going to say it out loud because they don't even feel like they'd be accepted at all. So if you start being your own best friend and loving yourself a little more, you'll start giving yourself compliments. Hey, that's the last thing you can do. Give yourself compliments. Stop, look in the mirror and say, find one thing you can compliment yourself on. Whether it's your style or your nose, your hair that day, the earrings you're wearing, woman, or maybe it's the fact that you've lost 5 pounds, whatever it may be. Look in the mirror, find something, or when you're doing your job, find something you can compliment yourself on there. Maybe you feel like you're doing a great job even if your boss doesn't. And you're going, no. What part of the job do I think I'm doing great at? I think I'm doing great at the way I deal with the customers or clients. Or maybe you feel you're doing great at, I don't know, for me, I was a paralegal for years and a legal secretary, and I thought I did great at keeping track of what was going on, of doing Excel spreadsheets, of doing accountings for the court. I felt like I did great at certain things. And other things, not so great. But I could say, okay, no matter what they say, I can say I'm doing well myself in certain things because if you don't and people are ripping you apart, you're going to totally lose your self-confidence. You're going to get angry and worry, and depending on your personality, you're not going to be happy. You're going to find that you just can't continue even in the job you have because you can't take it anymore. for whatever reason. So if you can give yourself compliments and find what is working for you, what is working, what does look good, you're going to find more and more to be able to compliment yourself over, to feel good about yourself. If you were your own best friend looking in the mirror, and that's your own best friend in the mirror there, what would you say? Wow, you did good today. This particular thing was great. I was so proud of you. And say it if you have to, like it's another person looking in the mirror. You did wonderful at this, or you're really being able to take care of things there. Know that. Know that this is something that you deserve, even if you have second thoughts about it. Because the other person is telling you this is their opinion. And while you don't need to accept their judgment and let it impact you, you can accept the compliment if it feels right to you. And if it doesn't, say thank you anyway, because perhaps there's something they need to get from that giving of a compliment. And if your best friend tells you, wow, you look great today, or wow, you did this well or that well, there you're more likely to listen to. So allow yourself to hear them, accept them, shut up long enough to say thank you. I really appreciate it. And then continue on your way with whatever else you want to say. Thank you for listening today. I'm Carol DeChaine, your intuitive spiritual guide for practical matters. If you'd like to subscribe to my YouTube channel, by all means, you can also click on the bell notification to know the next time that a video is posted. And if you'd like to hear a longer version, my podcast is Connect to Joy, and my website is of the same name, connect2joy.com. You can find the podcast there, as well as you can find it information on life coaching and on Marconic multidimensional energy, and also on energy space clearing, which is an interesting and different sort of way to lighten up the energy in your home. Until next week, please know that you have the power and you can be your very own best friend and treat yourself right.